Hey look, it's baby Kevin on a plate. Hi, I'm T1J. Follow me on Twitter. So straight dudes can be kind of creepy sometimes, and obviously I don't support creepy behavior. But as a straight dude, I can often understand the motivations behind creepy behavior. But when it comes to sending unsolicited dick pics to people, that's one that I never really got. Like, why would anyone do that? Like, there are some crazy people, and there are people who do crazy shit. And I think it's important to not judge the whole of society based on the actions of a few crazy people. But from what I understand, this happens like way too often for it to just be like this anomaly of crazy people. Now, of course, this doesn't happen to me personally, so I can't be completely sure, but I'm just going off the things that I've heard and read. So I decided to just look into it because I don't understand why anyone would do this. And in this video, I'm talking specifically about men sending dick pics to women. I know that sharing pictures happens in other types of relationships, such as relationships between gay men, but I think that's a different culture, and that's probably worth talking about in a different context. But anyway, like the most obvious sort of common sense thing that comes to mind is just the idea that a lot of men just want sex. And when men approach girls or hit up girls or text girls, a lot of times they just lead with that. They come out the gates coming on strong with sexual advances and things like that. And I think dick pics are just another way to do that. It's basically like laying the shit down like, here's what I got, what you gonna do with it? Of course, in most contexts, leading with strong sexual advances is usually a terrible strategy, but I guess not everyone realizes that. Another thing that has to be at play here is just a lot of men completely misunderstand what women want from them. Like, I think some men sort of project their own interests onto women. Like, we might think to ourselves, I would personally love it if a woman sent me an unsolicited nude picture. So clearly they would appreciate the same thing for me. As you might imagine, this is usually not the case. I'm not 100% sure, but as far as I can tell, dicks are not usually considered that visually attractive to people. Like, some women like the idea of knowing that they've turned you on, so they might want to see a picture for that reason. But I feel like it's rare for a woman to just be sitting around and just be like, man, I really want to look at a dick right now. I could be wrong, I don't know. And then you just have to take into account that there's a different dynamic when you're talking about a man approaching a woman and a woman approaching a man. In the vast majority of cases, a man being aggressively sexual towards a woman is much more intimidating than the other way around. And then you have to take into account that there are probably a lot of people who just get a sexual thrill from other people seeing them naked. Like, sexual exhibitionism is a real thing. But of course, you shouldn't potentially freak other people out and harass people just to appease your own exhibitionist fetish. I read a couple articles that actually interviewed guys who have sent pictures of their penis to women and sort of asked them why. One interesting thing that was said more than once is that it was kind of a way to lash out, especially for guys on dating sites, because when you're a guy on a dating site, it's often really hard to attract the attention of women. And a lot of guys just struggle in general in life with being attractive to women. So they're basically lashing out. It's like, no one pays me any attention, so I'm gonna force you to pay attention to me. It's like, you're gonna reject me anyway, so here's this up front. Reject this. Obviously, that's not the way you want to go about it. I don't want to go too deep into why or why not certain people might get rejected, but I can tell you that it's not because women are evil. Now, on the internet, when this happens to women, a lot of times their response is to basically publicly shame the guy and just try to make him feel like a complete fool for what he's done. And I go back and forth on the idea of public shaming. I'm not sure if it's actually a useful tactic, because the thing about it is negative reinforcement is still reinforcement. When you give someone the attention that they so desperately crave, sometimes that just encourages them to continue doing what they're doing, even if the attention is negative. Ultimately, the only solution is to get people to change their attitudes about what is appropriate and what they're entitled to. Like, if someone asks you for a dick pic, or if you know them well enough to really understand that they won't be offended by it, then go for it, dude. Other than that, unsolicited pictures of your penis being sent from you to another person is 100% sexual harassment. It is the digital equivalent of walking up to someone in public and flashing them. Like a lot of the things that I talk about, I think it just goes back to either not thinking about or not caring about other people's feelings. If you think you're entitled to just flash your dick at whoever you want, that just shows a complete lack of concern for how another person might feel about that. That's just me though. I want to know what you think though. Drop a comment. I want to give a shout out to all of the new subscribers. How you doing? If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you like my hair. Thank you once again for watching my video. For those that don't know, I'm a full-time YouTube creator, and the only way that I'm able to do that is through your support, and a large portion of that support comes through Patreon. Now, Patreon is a crowdfunding site for people like me with ongoing creative projects. It's kind of like an online tip jar where you can set it up to donate just a couple bucks every time I make a new video. So if you find any value in my channel or my videos, or if you just want to support me, please consider signing up for Patreon. That would be super amazing and totally appreciated. But even if you don't feel like it, or if you can't, that's fine too. I just thank you for watching.